so let's get on with the hot topic that's been around. Derek Chauvin has been found guilty, according to the AP News article. Former Minneapolis officer Derek Chauvin was convicted Tuesday of murder and manslaughter for pinning George Floyd to the pavement with his knee on the black man's neck in case that triggered worldwide protest, violence, furious re-examination of racism, policing in U.S. Chauvin, 45, was immediately led away with his handcuffed behind his back and it could be sent to prison for decades. Also, he's not getting bail, and all of his charges, he was guilty on all charges. So, gentlemen, would you consider this a win, or are you waiting until the sentencing to really be fully relieved?
I mean, it's a victory, but the L's we've been taking right now, it's really nothing to celebrate. It's like scoring one goal in a game where you're down like 500.
And
like, are you really
going
to celebrate
last few minutes of the fucking game?
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It feels like hollow. It's like an empty victory. It's like, thanks, but I could have used this, all them other times.
Mm-hmm. Over the past few, centuries. The fuck?
So I guess the word I'm looking, I guess to pronounce it, is bittersweet, because you want to be happy, but we done seen this story before and how people done get, especially with the Amber Geiger shit. I think with the Amber Geiger case, a lot of people are just like us. I need to wait until to hear the sentencing. Which, by the way, I think is stupid that he doesn't get the sentencing on the same day as he get convicted guilty. I personally think that's always been weird. But do y'all think he's going to get the maximum penalty? What do y'all think he's going to get?
I mean, they have no choice but to give him the maximum penalty. As a matter of fact, a lot of people are even saying his charges are even lighter than they need to be.
And that's saying something. And that's really saying stuff. So, I hope he does get the maximum penalty. And I do want to say this, and because I've been saying, although I say this many a times, Van Jones said something that and that I say all the time. Usually I don't like him crying on TV, but he did say something that I've said all the time. I just want the cops to do your fucking job. We don't want y'all to do everything. You don't want y'all to be superheroes or none of that other stuff. We just want y'all to do your job. And we also want, if you disobey the law or you break a law, that you take accountability of your own peoples and then prosecute them to the fullest extent of the law, just like y'all do us. Regular civilians. I'm not even trying to get into a race part, even though I can. But I just want y'all to do your fucking job. This is me personally. If everybody else feels like this, they could say so. But for me personally, I just want y'all to do your fucking jobs. I shouldn't feel tense walking around cops. I should not feel that. I should feel safe where the police is around me. But yet, no, I don't. And I don't even do nothing. I don't break the laws. I don't do anything to break the laws. But I shouldn't feel tense every time I see a cop. What about y'all?
Here's my thing, Ray, about everything you just said. Everything you just said was true, but how many times do they need to hear it at this point? You know what I mean?
Right.
You know what I mean when I say that? It's something that should be the ideal for everybody. If you want a society where people can actually do things and actually have healthy relationships with law enforcement, then the people that's in law enforcement and the systems that accommodate that would create systems that would, make sure that was an ideal thing. But it's not. They decided that it would be better if people would just get killed based on the color of their skin. I don't know why we live in a society like that where people think it's okay, but this is it. And I don't know how many times people need to say, hey, what you're doing is hurting us, and then they just keep doing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
So it's I hear what you're saying, but how many times do you need to say that, right? How many times?
I shouldn't have to say it more than once.
Right. This should have not happened at all. And this is going back, like Dion said, centuries. Centuries.
And speaking
I
of
don't know.
centuries, my bad. Go ahead, Dion.
Oh no, Father was about to say something.
Oh yeah, go ahead,
I
Father.
was done. You can go ahead.
Oh, but no, that's it. Like I done said everything I would have said.
Okay, all right. So let me ask y'all this. This is sort of like a follow up question because I've seen a lot of uh, people on the liberal, not liberal, more on the conservative side, be like, cops. You know what? Cops should quit because if they're going to be prosecuted for doing their job, even though they're not doing it right. But a lot of people say, cops should quit just so people, all the people talking about defund the police and all that other stuff. If cops would quit, so I'm gonna ask you this: if cops would, let's say cops quit, do y'all think that's a positive or a negative?
I personally think it's you can't really tell, and I'm gonna explain why. The police and like how policing works in America is interwoven with politics, and because it's 50 states and everything, so states do their own thing, but there's a federal government and shit. So like the way it's structured in the first place doesn't work. Is my point. I'm trying to say. And to say that, oh, well, if we just, get rid of them, it's like, no, it's not about getting rid of them. The entire system needs to fucking be abolished. If you're going to abolish the police, you better abolish the entire system because it will not work unless the system is abolished. Now, whether people want to, like do it in a way that's productive, then, people will accommodate the changes to do that. But if we're just going to sit here and go through the same thing over and over and over and over and over again, then at that point it's not the cops' fault, even if you do get rid of them.
I see what you're saying. My thing is, um, if anybody knows the history of police, like they used to they used to go catch slaves. That's basically as far as it goes. It goes back into slavery. Now they used to either kill them or bring them back to wherever plantation they was on and beat them or hang them to death or in front of everybody just so them to be a warning. So this, like I said, this really like thing that goes back in the past. My thing is, like you said, it has like not only just that the system has to be white. I feel like if you I was thinking about the Black Panthers because when they was policing the police, but not only that they police the police, they was also making sure their neighborhood was good. So I feel like if you get the people that know the neighborhood and like let's say like turn like how the Black Panthers had like their own neighborhood watch and they was like looking out for people in the neighborhood. I feel like we could do that. If the cops like you said, if you take away the system, we doing that. But I also feel like if we build something from the ground up and they're basically here to like protect and to serve the people like the cops supposed to do, I feel like we could do that. I feel like at first it could be rough. Like people say, see, you need cops because a lot of people feel like if you just defund the police or get rid of like gang violence would just go extremely up. I'm like, nah. I feel like if you just give the community jobs that that to protect the neighborhood, I feel like you could get something positive out of it as long as there's no politics involved in there. So that's what like. And I know there are good cops that really was there that trying to do good, honest police work, as they say. But it's just like the system you're in is really fucking us over. And basically, the mentality of some of these cops that they have is really, really dangerous. Like I said last week or like the week before that, I shouldn't have to be the one to de-escalate the situation, and the cops shouldn't be the one being all tense. This is like I understand the job is dangerous, but at the same time, like I shouldn't be the one that's telling you to calm down, and you're the one with the gun in my face. So, anybody else got any words before we move on to our next topic?
Just a couple of things. What you were saying about how the police got abolished and shit, or how crime and gang violence would do this, that, and the third. Um, People are gonna do them with or without the cops. Let's be real about that for one. Because like depending on where you are exactly, crowds crowds probably been on the rise. Just things being the way they are currently any motherfucking way. And I guess as far as abolishing the system, I think the word that I think the proper word would be like revamp, restructure, something like that. Because like you can't get rid of the police altogether. It can't. That's something that can't be done. Because there's crime is already in a bad enough state as is. You know what I'm saying? So like, who's gonna check the real criminals out here if you make that move? I don't know what else to say about that.
I guess the only thing I can say is, like the Crips. I think they're originally why they formed the Crips was to protect the neighborhood. So I feel like
that's how both the Crips and the Bloods first were formed. That's the primary reason they first were formed. But then came the drugs and everything else.
Yeah, the crack and then all the other stuff, and then plus poverty.
I could go into full detail on that history, of why the gangs were started and what like led to them being what they've become over,